India's World Cup campaign was a lot like Game of Thrones.
Right.
The finale was so bad that everybody forgot what happened before that. Like, what happened was amazing,
Yeah.
but now nobody wants to talk about it.
That's true. Like how also we as Indians always say that we never say Australia won the World Cup. We always say India lost the World Cup.
Yeah.
Like by right, it was supposed to be ours, right?
Like on paper.
On paper it was supposed to be ours. But you know, that also tells us something actually, which is that that tells you how good the team was up till then.
Yeah.
That everybody just believed that this cup is already yours, even though you've not played the final. वो भी खेलने आए, वो छोले बेचने नहीं आए, Australia वाले, right?
Touch the
That
ball.
catch,
Yeah.
Travis Head himself, I think, has admitted after that, saying there is like 9 times out of 10 I would not reach that catch.
Yeah.
Right? It's just his day.
Yeah.
You came up against a Ricky Ponting in 2003. You came up against a Travis Head in 2023. It's just when somebody's day is so magical, it's almost like you're blessed.
Before the podcast started, I was thinking, GK does Breakfast with Champions.
Yeah.
Like, what is he doing with us now? Lunch with Luchas.
Lunch with Luchas.
Late coffee. Late coffee with Lucha.
Nobody likes watching a one-sided encounter.
I mean, unless
Yeah.
India
Unless
is
you're
winning.
Unless India's
in a World Cup final.
Yeah, I wanted that match to be one-sided.
Yeah.
And
In
India
India's
to
favor.
win. Yeah, I was like, just win it now. I don't want more excitement. Drama.
India scores 700, Australia 0 all out. I'm like, take it.
Yeah, just
No problem.
take that cup and go home now.
So we're about to shoot a podcast with Shridhar and Gaurav Kapur, and Gaurav Kapur is stuck in the lift. I don't know. Somebody's coming to get you, GK.
Where are you?
We are above you. Have you gotten off?
No, I can't get out.
No, somebody's coming to get you. 1 second. Yes, you're safe. Yeah, there you go. Fucking A. What an exciting life we lead. With GK finally coming up. This is... Fuck, now I'm going to be the next Tanmay Bhadi. Watch, man. There you go. Fuck, he got saved in life. Yeah, what a great entry, man.
Money's come? Cool. It's come. It's reached. Yeah.
MS Dhoni.
Huh?
What?
No, yours. The payments come.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, sorry, I was not.
Oh, okay.
So my
No, it's all right. Stand-up comics don't get paid.
I figured out that when you want to be like in the focus of the camera, I figured out like, okay, you either have to be an attractive person, have a signboard, or have a child. So I went with my son for the match. And so both of us figured out that if I pop him up like this, no, the camera
Like a
focus.
trophy.
And we got on TV, and my son was very excited. Like, next time, Papa will lift me up a lot more. I was like, dude, I can't do this. Let's calm down.
Next thing you know, you're going with your kid, he's 24. He's like, damn.
Yeah.
When you're a very star kid. But yeah, I mean, like right now, I think what we were discussing was about 2023 and the amount of cricket that's happened. It's been very confusing. Like, dude, so there's 3 test matches happening right now. Or 2. There's Australia, Pakistan, India, South Africa.
Yeah.
And there's...
India women, England
Yeah,
women, which
yeah.
is the
No,
one day's white ball
India
series.
women, Australia women, which got...
Australia women, which is a
Done.
white ball series.
Yeah, just got
England
done.
men's playing West Indies.
yeah.
But I don't know what they're playing format right now because the T20s are done.
It's a multiverse of madness.
Then there's probably 1 or 2 Legends leagues going on at some point in time. At all points in time in some
Absolutely.
part of the world.
I think the amount of cricketers are playing, it's preparing them for the Legends League.
Yeah.
They will retire very soon.
Hey, but listen, you must be witnessing this with like all your friends who are cricketers, right? Like a lot of them who are on the like cusp of retirement are suddenly back in the nets and getting way fitter because they're like, "Arey, road safety league mein paisa banane ka hai."
So I remember Parthiv was doing the India. Who did we play here? Early in December. Australia. I remember they were here for like
The
6
T20s.
months. Yeah. So he was doing the India-Australia series with me on Crickbuzz, but in the middle, for one day, he flew to Jammu to play a match and
Yeah.
come back.
Wow, man.
I think this happened with Irfan Pathan also. He was...
Irfan was playing 2 leagues at the same time.
Yeah, he was playing 2 leagues.
So he
and
was-
doing commentary also.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
I was like, dude, you like, what are you like when you wake up in the morning? Do you know like what T-shirt to wear, what makeup लगाना है, नहीं लगाना, bat उठाना है, pink T-shirt पहनी है, green T-shirt, कौन सा league खेल रहा हूँ मैं? Like it's nuts. He was playing 2 leagues. There were 2
he
leagues
was-
happening at the same time.
Yeah. 2 leagues and also broadcasting. So it was a bunch of things.
I was saying the other day, and I was telling you earlier as well, is that on the Crickbuzz carousel with live matches happening, on some days that carousel runs out of space. there's more cricket than carousel. Right? You just keep going with drop down menu बजाना पड़ता है. ये वो वाला match किधर है? It's crazy.
Dude, that's the Don Draper ad that never got made. He's like, I'm saying carousels right now. He gave up.
So it is an issue, and I think more than, I like how I'm just throwing a topic in right now. With so much cricket happening, I think that the 3-format player will become
Rarity.
will just become extinct in 2 years, 3 years.
Will become a legend very soon.
Yeah, there you go. More than an urban legend.
Yeah.
Most of this is happening in semi-urban centers. But that's what happens. How do you be a 3-format player? You can't. How do you switch?
Yeah, but I have a counter view to this, right? So much cricket is happening and all this talk through the course of the years. If you look at football, for example, right? If you look at football globally, there's a lot of football happening across leagues and friendlies, etc. What tends to happen, at least in India, is every time you think there's a lot of cricket, but when India is playing, people tune. People want to watch Indians play. And as it is in India, there's very few things that keep us entertained, and cricket is one of those things, right?
Yeah.
And once the series ends, the next topic of discussion is when is India playing next? As much as people say nobody watches now, but once Rinku Singh starts hitting, people tune in. They're like, what's happening in the
You're
match?
absolutely right. But to your point, actually, that your point is actually not counter. It agrees with mine, because what that means is that you need to have cricket more often.
Yeah.
Right? So which means a test series is finished and people are like, I want my next hit, right?
Yeah.
Which means that a white ball series can start in 2 days. How does that test player, I am saying, how does he even get to that place? Right? Where it has to be played. Right?
Unless
and
you're
then
Irfan
a T20
Pathan.
series. There you go. Unless you're Irfan Pathan. Sunil Narine, apparently, if you remember. Was it Dwayne Bravo? Sunil Narine did this once, played a game.
Dude, right now, so I was at in Canada for the GT20, and Mohammad Rizwan played a test match with Sri Lanka, flew in, landed at the airport, and went straight to the match and scored a 50. And everybody's like, my God, amazing achievement. And then one of the players, I won't name it, with CSI, comes to me like, "Arey kya sir, business class mein aaya aisa late ke, मतलब अगर economy में आता सब people are immediately like, they're like, हम लोग economy में आते थे."
This is such a typical social media comment. Like whenever some players say that we work very hard, then अरे तुझे पैसा मिलता है, why you complain?
Correct. तो मतलब जिसको पैसा मिल रहा है can't complain.
Can't complain, not at all.
Right, that you're working hard. And if somebody is not getting money and working hard, people are like, तेरे को तो पैसा ही नहीं मिलता, तो how could you be working hard?
Absolutely.
If you work hard, you'll be earning
this
money.
Especially happens when cricketers take a break. They're like, we have family commitments or personal breaks, and people are like, how can you take a break?
How can you have a family?
You earn so much money.
Dude, like this Mitchell Starc taking 8 years from IPL, right? For a long time, I was like, भाई पैसा दिया लोग ने तेरे को और तू निकल गया. And then he was given the explanation recently in an interview where he's like, both of us are touring cricketers. The only time Alisa Healy and me get to spend time is that period. And I'm like, हाँ सही है, वैसे लॉजिक तो है. अपनी वाइफ के साथ तेरे को टाइम स्पेंड करना ठीक है भाई.
But at what cost? 24 crores.
So, but like everybody who's married will know कि पहले कुछ साल you want to do that, then after few years you're like, तू जाना. Wife is only saying, पैसा मिल रहा है, तू जाना 2 महीना, तो शांति होगा घर में. रह के चू चू करते हैं.
Cut to Mitchell Starc is doing his own Legends League just to be out of the house.
But I think that people have to be just a little kinder. These are human beings, yeah. Like if somebody wants to, again, it's everybody's right, na. Somebody didn't want to come back for their child's birth. Excellent. Somebody wanted to come back for their child's birth. Excellent. Why is anybody sitting outside and judging? Yeah, मतलब क्या कुछ नहीं है हम मतलब let's face it, ना हम ना वो, nobody is doing open heart surgery, right?
I mean, except the people who do it.
Yeah, no, I'm saying none of us are entertainers, sports people, besides the doctors. Nobody really is doing open heart surgery. So it's not, मतलब लाइफ एंड डेथ का मामला नहीं है अब, राइट? ठीक है, हो जाएगा. बहुत कॉम्पिटेंट लोग हैं यार. हम लोग, विराट कोहली केम बैक फॉर हिज चाइल्ड्स बर्थ, स्टिल इंडिया वन इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया ना. मींस देयर आर, ही इज अ ग्रेट प्लेयर, but we also have another 15-16 great players who are traveling over there. They'll do it. And even with 8 injured, India managed to win. So you know that it's happening. ठीक है, हो जाएगा. So I think people just need to be a little, but then that just comes to the whole point of कि ठीक है, social media ignore करो ना, आगे चलो क्या.
But also it's very entertaining, no? Like what's his name, Sagar Chasm.
Sagar Chasm.
Dude, that guy is so funny, man. Like
Good
it's
friend
like,
of mine.
so whenever is he? Oh, dude, he's.
I speak to him once a month on Twitter. That's all. Yeah.
You say he's a friend of yours.
Because he doesn't speak to people. He doesn't like talking to people much.
Yeah. I was trying to get him on a podcast. He said,
Yeah,
"No,
he doesn't like
I'm not
this.
comfortable and all." So yeah. I'm like, but
Then it's okay. Then that's friendship. Then.
yeah, but
Interacting
some
once a
level
month
of
is friendship.
interaction. Yeah.
If he's like that.
Yeah.
But like, to your point about people making comments, I'm like everybody has their own position in society, right? Cricketers are doing what they have to do, and then trolls are doing what they have to do, and I'm like, I'm enjoying both. Like,
सब अपना काम कर रहे हैं.
Yeah.
That's true.
But I mean, listen, we have to talk about. I mean, we've spoken about this at length also when we did the lives on your channel about the 24 crores and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Hardik, I'm just trying to understand this. So when Hardik got traded to Mumbai Indians, he got 15 crores, and that's divided in half between the franchise and him. ऐसा कुछ है क्या? What is the logic? I don't get it.
No, what? मतलब he'll get his fee.
Right.
Whatever his fee is, that comes to him.
Right.
Over that, if a transfer fee is paid, I don't know the rule. Because this is also the first time like something like this has happened. Otherwise, trades have been happening between players, and then there was some cash paid. You never knew. This one, I guess, everything comes into the limelight one time because it's the biggest thing that has happened.
Yeah.
I feel that there is, I'm not sure, but I think half the transfer fee would go to the player and half goes to the franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, as experts in auction trades,
Yeah.
we can clearly say that we don't know.
We have no idea.
We can
happens?
speculate on anything.
Yeah.
This is
Absolutely.
nothing. This is not we're not doing a serious.
No, but like
कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं.
like Akash Chopra very subtly saying that अरे ऑस्ट्रेलियन लोग को इतना पैसा दे रहे हैं इंडियन प्लेयर को. I'm like सही बोल रहे हैं यार.
नहीं सही मेरे को तो लग रहा है. By the way, I feel के सबको there's a guy bobbing in front of the window and I thought someone's coming out of the screen. It's we can't explain that joke. We'll have to show it to you, so we'll just cut it out and move on. I feel that all the players should be paid more. Now I know that this is be a controversial statement. इतना पैसा मिल रहा है इतना. अरे यार क्यों नहीं दे यार? Look at the value of the league. I am just saying percentage wise. When you see the NBA, when you see any of these, what the rights fee is and the percentage of the rights fee paid to the players. उसके हिसाब से तो ये कम है ना. देखो 50,000 5 साल के लिए तो 10,000 crore approximately is just the rights fee.
Yeah.
Right. Then you get other sponsorships and
I think
everything else.
It's whole Indian mindset, right? Like in India, we like doing things slowly. Like you can't suddenly give somebody 100 crores. You have to start with
So what's
1
happening
crore,
is that
then
right
10
now
crores.
the players get 1,000 crores total.
Yeah.
It's 100 crores per team.
Yeah.
So 1,000 crores goes to the players.
Yeah.
The league is making 12, 13, 14,000 crores every year. तो उस परसेंटेज से तो कम है ना.
Oh my god.
This is
Player
too
के-
deep a question.
Yeah, but like
प्लेयर के बलबूते पे ही चल रहा है ना.
think
प्लेयर ही तो देखने जा रहे हो.
EPL, I think they said that you can take up to 10% of whatever. Some Azim was trying to explain to me. I wasn't understanding where you're allowed to expend how much ever money you want, but it has to be like if you take a loan, it has to be 10% that amount or whatever. I have a feeling they've kept this ceiling only to prevent the Ambanis from buying everybody. Like that. That's
No, then everybody's will go up. If you notice all the people there who are sitting,
Huh.
this is like I said the other day. I said this is the only time all those people on those tables are told that you have no more money to buy, and they're like, that's not an alien concept to them. They don't understand these. What are these words coming out of your mouth? What do you mean we have no money? Look at everybody of that. Like we obviously the Ambanis being the richest over there. But बाकी नौ भी मतलब they're not struggling. They are not doing monthly खर्चा like us. कितना हो गया? अरे यार कोने वाला किनारा दुकान ने बड़ा ले लिया. So they all have that, but I feel like it probably it'll go up over time.
Yeah, I think it's natural progression, right? It started somewhere. It will of course go higher later. But if you look at India as a country and the kind of per capita income people have, somebody getting paid 1 crore rupees is a big deal.
Yeah.
And from there to like whatever 20-30 crores in the near future will happen, but it can't happen immediately. I think at least from the perception that people have about how much money can a player make.
Yeah.
Like even at this stage, let's say a player makes 2-3 crores a year, and he takes a 1 week break from his cricket playing.
Yeah.
People will complain that you make so much money, how can you take a break? So the more money they make, of course, people will feel like they're entitled to.
अच्छा इतना भी we must tell people this by the way कि when a player does not play matches or takes a break for a series उसको उन मैच के पैसे नहीं मिलते.
Yeah.
ठीक है, it's like sick leave.
नहीं
थोड़ी ना मिलेंगे मैच भी थोड़ी ना मिलेगा अगर खेल नहीं रहे.
तो अगर जैसे मैंने मिशेल स्टार्क को 24 करोड़ रुपए दे दिए, ठीक है.
एक तो वो मिशेल नहीं है, वो मिचेल है.
I'm talking about the WPL player. मिचेल स्टार्क।
तो मिचेल स्टार्क को आपने 25 करोड़
हाँ,
करी।
और वो नहीं आया।
मैं कह रहा था
I love this hypothetical scenario where Sorabh Pant is giving 24 crores
Yeah, me.
to somebody.
My own personal amount.
yeah,
it's good.
मैंने दिए।
I have to take a loan of 26 crores to get 25 crores. 1 crore to bribe the bank. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think anybody has an issue with के IPL में पैसे लिए और मैच नहीं खेलने। वो ये सब इशू सिर्फ इंडिया के, जब लोगों को ये टेंशन होता है when India is playing a game, saying आप इंडिया की सीरीज में रेस्ट कैसे ले लिया, आपको इतने पैसे मिल रहे हैं। पर अगर आपने सीरीज में रेस्ट लिया है तो आपको मैच फीस नहीं मिल रहा ना, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अमाउंट आपको मिल रहा है वो पूरे साल का।
No, I think the way people think is overall money. Like you're making so much money overall.
हाँ, पर उसने छोड़े ना वो
Yeah.
जो 25-30 लाख रुपए वो सीरीज के लिए मिलने थे वो नहीं मिले उसको, तो उसको भी हर्ट
I
कर
think
रहा है
maybe
थोड़ा।
it's a PR problem to solve. Every time a player takes a break, they should say, "I'm taking sick leave,
There you go.
or I'm taking casual leave.
Yeah, casual
I'm taking 30 leaves,
Unpaid leave.
unpaid leaves,
Unpaid leave
yeah,
है।
unpaid leave, yeah."
तो अब लोग घबराइए मत, ठीक है, अनपेड लीव है, उसको पैसे नहीं मिल रहे घर बैठने के लिए।
यार अभी ईशान किशन just like decided not to play the South Africa series. And I was like earlier people would be like ऐसा कैसे ये देश को छोड़ के भाग गया and all that stuff. And now people are like, okay, it's possible. Dude, 2 महीने like he had the expectation that maybe he'll get more chances in the World Cup. He's been hanging around with the side for a while. Maybe that contributes to your mental health and you're like, भाई मुझे
But it
छुट्टी
has to,
चाहिए.
na.
It's too
Like
much.
we were talking earlier, there's so much cricket happening.
Yeah.
People have to take a break. Yeah, you're going to go crazy. How can you just imagine? Listen, you guys tour, you guys work, you've been doing this also for so many years. Can you imagine staying out of the house for 275 days a year or 260, 300 days a year? It's a lot, man.
Yeah.
10 दिन घर से बाहर रहते हो, एक महीने में तो वापस आए, यार घर जाना है, यार घर जाना है। इनके टूर तो 60-60, ऑस्ट्रेलिया वाले तो जब इंडिया आए थे उनके आधार कार्ड छप गए थे भाई, वो तो वापस नहीं गए। They were here for a series before the World Cup, then the World Cup, and then played a series after the World Cup.
The funniest was seeing Travis Head
Yeah.
after the World Cup final. He did what he did, and then the T20 series started. He was
missed-
there on the field.
But he missed 2 games.
He
because
missed,
the
yeah.
first game. They openly said that they were hungover.
Yeah.
Matlab, basically, short of using that word, saying he's partied really hard and he's been letting his hair down, so we are giving him, 1 or 2 games off. Which means what? That you're basically hungover, man. You can't come to work.
I think they
कल
could
मेरा
have-
birthday था, मैंने बहुत दारू पी ली, मैं आज काम पे नहीं आ
They
सकता।
could have used a better phrasing. They could have said his head is not in the right place.
Nice.
This is the newspaper article. No, but also like, and a lot of people are like, अरे अहमदाबाद में अभी कैसे दारू पियोगे? I'm like, पर टूरिस्ट को मिलता है ना दारू?
हाँ बिल्कुल।
हाँ, तो I'm like, I don't think half the people know that you can get daru as a tourist on like I realized this long back. First time I was going to Ahmedabad and like a dry state and all. And the guy said on the phone 4 times like, sir ना अपना flight का ticket घुमाना मत please.
Yeah.
घुमाना मत, मतलब इतना क्या serious है, तेरे को refund चाहिए क्या? And then he used that to buy 1 bottle of vodka and he's like, thank you sir, thank you. So as a tourist you can buy alcohol. And so, yeah.
Now, by the way, they have alcohol freely available in the gift city. You know this, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just
I think it's a
started.
proposal. It's
not come yet.
not come yet, but that's the plan. Yeah, it will.
There you go.
I mean, I don't know why people have doubts. Ravi Shastri goes there for commentary all the time.
I'll
There
tell you
should be a way.
I'll tell you something. Every time I have been to Ahmedabad,
Yeah.
and every time I'm invited somewhere for a dinner or something like that, there's always booze available. There's always a bar, and it's not like chup के कोने में जाके खुले में पड़ा होता है बार. So there is some license situation. I love that we are speculating about everything.
Except
So here's the thing, right? We could have done research and we could have given you information, but you have like serious podcasts for that,
Yeah,
right? Do you have any podcast where somebody goes, I don't know about this, but let me just speculate anyway?
Yeah, I
Which
mean,
confidence.
speaking of speculation, we can speculate. How did Australia celebrate
Yeah.
after the finals?
First of all, some Mitchell Marsh used the trophy as a footstool and then got an
that
FIR.
became a big talking
Yeah.
point.
He got a
Because-
FIR.
Yeah, somebody filed, I
It's a
think.
police complaint.
No, you can file a complaint for anything in this
ये
country.
हमारा हॉबी है इधर.
I didn't know.
अभी
he got
इस
a-
पॉडकास्ट में 3-4 हो गए हैं already. It's like we are not important enough for people to file police complaints. No, that's not a challenge. We're not important
No, but
enough.
I
No,
love
but
that.
what's your thought on that? Like
I
Mitchell
mean-
Marsh putting his foot on the trophy, becoming a
I mean, look,
controversy.
if you won the trophy, then I can understand you going like, "Hey, respect the trophy." But if you've not won the trophy, then like,
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not like it's my trophy.
Yeah.
You can't put your foot on that.
Like, and how much do we have to respect? How many things? Like, how many symbols have to be respected? When you're on the train, right, and somebody kicks you by mistake, and then they say, so like, right, we always say, and then some people do that. So one guy got into a fight because one guy kicked him and he didn't say it properly. He just said sorry, like ऐसे करने का ना, ऐसे नहीं करना. So now we respect each other so much. We have to like everything. Like everything doesn't have to be so respected. It's a trophy. Yeah, it's like it's a great trophy, but still.
Yeah, but if it was like somebody from India or South Africa who would kick the trophy and they've not won it and they've kicked it, yes, that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
You won it, you're chilling, yeah, this is your thing. Tabrez Shamsi got one, no? Because he celebrated with his, which
With
is
his
damn
shoe.
funny.
Yeah.
Takes off his shoe and makes the phone call.
Yeah.
Somebody filed a complaint against him also.
I think Indians will faint the day they see the F1 drivers drinking alcohol from their shoes.
Yeah.
You know that celebration. It's true.
हमारे troll
Yeah.
गिर जाएंगे बेचारे.
Yeah.
नहीं, ये तो सहवाग ने ट्रोल किया था ना उनको, where I think Australia had done that. And Sehwag is like, ये कैसे पीने का तरीका?
Oh yeah, correct. Yeah.
He had already done it. So we've covered this
Drinking
way.
out a trophy I've seen.
No, out of shoes.
Yeah,
I think
shoes
David Warner
Yeah,
did
yeah.
it. Yeah.
It
was
You know
in
this
Yes.
drinking out a trophy. Imagine
And then he did a couple of reels after that. So.
if Mitchell, Marsh had put his and they had poured like beer in it and drunk out of it, this guy who's filing police complaints he would have like...
No, the complaint would have been, how did they get alcohol in Gujarat?
One more. I'm saying he would have gone nuts. Like he would have just hired a lawyer and saying, भाई क्विंटल का दाम देना मेरे को मेरे को क्विंटल का मुझे बहुत सारी कंप्लेंट करनी है मैं पागल हो रहा हूँ मेरा सर फट गया.
But every time I see that image, it looks like the opening shot of Animal movie. Just like this alpha male who's putting his foot on the trophy, which billions of people wanted.
Yeah. But again, I mean, they won the trophy, as you said. Like, like if somebody had lost against Australia and then go like, "Kaise jeeta tu?" and kicked it, then I'm like, "Okay, that's disrespectful." But wo jeeta hai. But by the way, they don't get to keep the trophy, right? Do they get to keep the trophy for a year, or they have to leave it behind? Again, talking about things that are in conjecture.
The funny thing is, he said we're going to discuss the year gone by in cricket, and he's asking me rules, regulations, riti rivaj.
Yeah. I've heard if they leave the trophy, they don't have to pay GST. So, it's possible they left it back.
No, but okay, let's talk about 2023. Okay, now first of all, we have to get over the. So I was in the Uber.
No, I have to tell you this. Yeah. Okay, when you said we will discuss 2023 year in cricket, for me, I think post that World Cup final, everything before that has become a blur. I was saying this earlier also that India's World Cup campaign was a lot like Game of Thrones.
Right.
The finale was so bad that everybody forgot what happened before that. Like what happened was amazing, but now nobody wants to talk about it.
That's true.
It's been like that. Like the haunting memory is just us losing that World Cup, and I've forgotten like Shami's amazing bowling or Shreyas Iyer being insane on the field. It's gone into thin air now.
I like how also we as Indians always say that we never say Australia won the World Cup. We always say India lost the World Cup.
Yeah.
Like by right, it was supposed to be ours, right?
Like on paper.
On paper, it was supposed to be ours. But you know that also tells us something actually, which is that that tells you how good the team was up till then.
Yeah.
That everybody just believed that this cup is already yours, even though you've not played the final. वो भी खेलने आए, वो छोले बेचने नहीं आए, Australia वाले, right? And they are a solid team. They're a team that does very well under pressure. They're a team who knows a thing or two about winning World Cups. So, and I remember saying about 2 weeks before, I said, just Australia nahi aani chahiye final.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that was
Australia
half
in
the
final.
country because we have this trauma associated with Australia. Every time we play Australia in a knockout match, there's that feeling they will do something.
Yeah, it's I think everybody, the whole world plays them in a knockout match. It comes from a few things. One is that maybe they are a sporting culture that grows up without taking the pressure of these big moments too much. It helps that cricket isn't really the number one sport in Australia, so maybe that helps. Secondly, because they've done this so many times, you get used to it. Right?
I mean, we've also lost many times, but we don't get used to it.
That's the thing about losing, right? You can get used to winning, you can never get used to losing. So there's a few factors like that, right? But it's so interesting that you said that India lost because that's how good the Game of Thrones season was.
Yes.
That you thought this finale is going to be in the bag. And then you're like, ye to nahi hua. And I think the passage of play that defined it, sorry to interrupt you, passage of play that defined it was when Travis Head survived.
Yeah. Absolutely.
His batting. It was not India batting. It was not any of those wickets falling, Virat's bad luck, Rohit still playing the way he did, Rahul playing slow, Shubman with that. It's not. None of those things. Right? I still feel, yes, India could have done with a few more runs, but it was decent because the way these guys bowled up front,
Yeah, that's true.
I think that was great.
Head was clueless. Like he was struggling in the beginning.
उसका
to
दिन था यार वो.
touch the
That
ball.
catch.
Yeah.
That catch, Travis Head himself, I think, has admitted after that, saying there is like 9 times out of 10 I would not reach that catch.
Yeah.
Right? It's just his day.
Yeah.
You came up against a Ricky Ponting in 2003. You came up against a Travis Head in 2023. It's just when somebody's day is so magical, it's almost like you're blessed. Like you turn garbage into gold.
Yeah.
That's your day. It's your Midas touch day. It was his, man. I can't believe he survived that. If you go and watch that
I know.
whole period of play, not the highlights, there is just, it's bizarre that he has survived.
The ball
for
was
so
swinging like
I remember
wild.
there was that one ball where I think Bumrah swung it into him and it like missed the stump by that much, and I'm like, ye tha. Ye survive ho gaya, abhi ho gaya. It's
On
like
any other day, you would get his edge, you would get him wrapped, he would get an edge if it's on his pads, he would miss the edge if it went to the keep. It was things were going his way, and fair enough, man. I mean, luck favors the brave.
Yeah.
And he's a phenomenal cricketer, and he's been in phenomenal form the last few years. He just came up against just a team and a guy who were just having a bizarre day. It's almost like, I think that India perhaps is feeling in 2023 what West Indies felt in 83. Right? Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like when India beats them in the final,
Yeah.
and then West Indies is thinking, how? It's 183. We're going to chase this.
I
We
mean,
won this
the
game.
difference is there nobody expected
Yeah.
India to win. Here, I think Australia.
No, I'm saying as a West Indian fan.
Yes,
Acha, sorry. There you're saying no one expected.
no one expected India to win then.
Yeah.
Now it was at least a battle of equals. If
You
Yeah.
know, by the way, that's never happened like since '83, where a team that you just did, like Afghanistan winning the World Cup would be almost not equivalent, but close to Afghanistan winning a T20 World Cup, which is not unlikely.
Yeah.
It's not unlikely, but that would be like, that's not happened in cricket since '83, where somebody like '96 comes close with Sri Lanka winning and all that kind of stuff. But that was like, they were like, Muralitharan ko no ball diya, abhi dekh. I was showing my son. My son was very angry about the final. And he told me 4 days later. He's just batting, okay? And I'm like, तो ऐसे दीवार के साथ he's doing all that stuff. I'm like, who are you playing? He's like, India versus Australia. And every 4 days, okay, back to back, like, Australia all out for 12. India won in 3 balls. I'm like, TK, enjoy yourself.
How old is he now?
He's 8. He's
Yeah,
like,
that
loves
sticks,
cricket.
man.
Yeah, I remember 2003 took a long time to go back into that memory space which you don't recollect again.
Yeah.
It was difficult, but now I think 2023 will top that because the difference is 2003 was still like it was a time when India was kind of an underdog, and we were like, "Chalo, this is our moment to win this World Cup," and we lost. But Australia was like bloody good, right? Like they were too good. But this 2023 was when we were like, "Chalo, finally, it's that time when Indian team is the best in the world. We have like amazing bowlers and batsmen." We're like, this can't go wrong. And then it went wrong.
And also the fate of Shami coming in. Right?
Yeah, man.
The fate of him coming in from nowhere.
Everything was making sense till it didn't make sense.
Till it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
I was in an Uber, I think 4 days after that, and I think the match was coming on Jio. I think India, whatever series we had afterwards. And the Uber guy had an iPad and he's just watching it. And I'm like, क्या स्कोर हो रहा है? He's like, क्या फर्क पड़ता है सर? क्या फर्क पड़ता है? And he looks at me very sadly after the ride. He's like, मैं तो ना पिछले 4 दिन से सदमे में हूँ. I'm like, my God.
That's true.
We all need to
that series felt like a rebound after a bad breakup.
Yeah.
Like you were in it, but you're like, nah, you're not feeling it.
I started my show, I remember it was 4 days after the World Cup, so I started my show saying, listen, the best way to get over heartbreak is to love again. That's what we're going to do. But it's not
the
real
same.
love, it's the illusion of love.
Yeah.
This is a rebound series. That's what I said. I said, treat this as a rebound. Just enjoy it for what it is. Don't get too involved. Right? Don't invest your emotions too much.
Yeah.
Just have fun on a superficial level and let's move on.
And all the Indian cricketers went to the gym to get over a heartbreak. Which
It is, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, man. You got to do. You can imagine their heartbreak. Yeah? If we are heartbroken, can you imagine them?
That's true.
Like I remember Rohit and him talking after that.
It took him a while though to come out and say anything.
They were really, man. They were really bummed about it. This was a very solid chance. But ठीक है, हो गया. It would still not hurt me as much as 2007 getting eliminated
Really? Oh, this hurt way more, yeah.
I think
Really?
That was. This
The
was so
difference-
close yet so far. This is a
Yeah.
different kind of hurt. That was just like
the difference though,
humiliation hurt, man.
GK, is that this is prime time India where we're watching it like this in the daytime, in the afternoon, in the evening.
Yeah.
That was a little late night.
Aadhe
it
log
was-
so gaye the.
Yeah, it was okay.
Subah pata chala.
Yeah.
I remember I was in London, so I got to know it like some 7 in the evening, 7:30 in the evening. And I just got caught in a hailstorm outside.
Oh.
In the end of March. It's bizarre. Like there's no, but like
That was just heads batting practice.
ओले पड़ रहे थे 2007 में ओले नहीं 2007 में
अच्छा,
World Cup
2007 की बात है।
ओले पड़ रहे थे मैं अंदर गया हूँ freezing in my cousin I was in my cousin's house and I said dude man I'm just gonna have a hot shower यार कुछ ड्रिंकिंग बना यार कुछ गरम ब्रांडी वैंडी ले गया मेरे लिए यार and then he knocks on the door 5 minutes later he goes he says that Pakistan lost right Netherlands defeated them. Who defeated Pakistan in that?
No, it was India, Bangladesh, Pakistan.
I thought I genuinely
Ireland or
remember.
Netherlands? Who defeated them?
Wasn't it?
Cut this portion out quickly. 2000 just check 2007 50 over World Cup. Pakistan was defeated by Netherlands, na?
Soham is like, अरे Jamie pull that up. मेरे साथ कैसे हो गया?
He was like,
Yeah, he wasn't prepared for it.
he was Instagram.
It's like-
yeah, this is real work.
I tried on stand up immediately after the World Cup, right? And I tried it 3 times, and people are like, "This is not stand up, okay?" Where I was like,
Too
you know,
soon.
Yeah, because I'm like, see, with 2023, what happened was that for the longest time, you take this very personally, right? Because for a long time, you feel like the Indian cricket team, where you are like, hey, we have potential, but we've never really achieved it.
Yeah.
And then throughout your life, you think that about yourself, where you're like, hey, I am maybe something.
Ireland.
And yeah. And then you think that maybe I'm something and I'm going to achieve something in my life and blah, blah, blah. And then at 2023, you're like full culmination. You're like, this is my potential. This is what I'm capable of doing, okay? This is exactly what I can do with my life and I am made of something. And then you lose and you're like, I'm a piece of shit. This is not about the team. This is about me.
Everybody has that Australia in their life, which reminds you of your place in your life.
So he knocked on the door and he said, Pakistan, Ireland is beating Pakistan, yay! 5 minutes later he goes, Bangladesh is beating India, come on, Bangladesh is beating India. I said, what do you mean? It's not like I can bat, like what am I going to do?
Hey, listen, I got to ask you this. Why does, so I was trying to figure this out. The Bangladesh, a lot of Bangladeshi people don't really like the Indian team.
Yeah.
But why is that? I don't understand. Like, it's with that old rivalry of them, the close matches and all that stuff. वो सब तो ठीक है.
I think it became
What is it?
worse after that quarterfinal India-Bangladesh 2016 T20 World Cup,
Right.
where Dhoni ran out the last ball in Bangalore.
Yeah.
So
close yet
basically,
so far.
2-3 balls before that, Mushfiqur Rahim is celebrated like they won the match, and then there was a lot of banter after that, which I think sort of snowballed into.
लाया हो गया. Did he bring it? Huh? Oh, अच्छा.
अरे हाँ बहुत टाइम लग गया
हाँ
कॉफी.
वो नीचे से ला लो क्योंकि वो फोन पे बैठा है ना नीचे वो तो फोन पे बैठा
You know what,
है
Sahil?
लिफ्ट से लोगों को बचा रहा है
You know what Sahil Shah would say? Coffee time lag gaya.
I like how you're disguising your own joke.
yeah उस पे फाड़ दिया बिल I like it I think you may have a point there. I think there was a कुछ तो हुआ है क्योंकि बहुत टाइम से बहुत इंडिया बांग्लादेश just happens to be it's not just Bangladesh fans who are against India. There's a lot of India fans who also throw a lot of shade towards Bangladesh.
I'll tell you what happened also was that I think one of the World Cups there was a Bangladeshi poster with Dhoni's head.
Yeah, the beheading posters and all that
beheading
stuff.
poster of Dhoni and all of that, which made it worse, the entire India-Bangladesh equation.
But
They have got some real weird fans, man.
yeah.
They have. I've seen enough of
In
these
fact,
things
no, this
happening.
played out during this Bangladesh match in Pune, where a couple of these super fans of Bangladesh, they were there in the stadium, and the crowd there, they tore the tiger.
Oh,
you know
no.
that tiger with
Stuffed tiger लेके
stuffed
आया था
tiger?
कोई.
They unstuffed it,
Oh no.
and he was quite sad. He was like, and then there's some cricket journalists, they got together and bought him a stuffed tiger.
Oh wow.
It was very heartwarming, but very silly. Imagine a crowdfunding for a stuffed tiger.
And they made the big Archie's wala stuffed toy. And he's trying to take it back to
Like,
Bangladesh.
in this entire situation, I'm thinking the problem is not that this guy can't afford one more stuffed tiger.
Yeah.
He can buy a stuffed tiger.
Yeah.
He's just been through some trauma. They're like, no, we'll solve this by buying you one more stuffed tiger. That will.
Till you go to the next stadium and somebody rips this apart.
And that becomes a tradition. Every stadium they're like, "Faad ke ye naya le lo."
It's not like we'll pay for your therapy to get over this trauma. We'll just buy you 2,000 rupee stuffed tiger.
In fact, the funniest comment there was, "Don't worry, we'll give you Aadhaar card of India also."
Wow, yeah. That's
To the fan.
a little more expensive, yeah.
Dangerous joke. You want a
You can cut
police
it out.
complaint today? He's come with one agenda. He had one goal.
But like, I mean, you have to talk about the like three of the funniest moments in this year, three of the funniest controversial moments of the year, okay? One is, of course, Shakib wala timeout. Right, and then Shakib right now came and said that my vision was blurry throughout the World Cup, and everybody like, इसलिए घड़ी नहीं दिखाई दी तेरे को, all that shit has started happening, right? But there's also another moment where Harmanpreet Kaur had her meltdown in Bangladesh, which is very fun, like to watch.
She had a meltdown as well.
Did you see the match by any chance?
No, I didn't.
So I saw the match just to see what had happened. Basically, for whoever didn't follow the story, Harmanpreet Kaur, when at the end of the India-Bangladesh match there, she basically, it was a tie this thing. So they had a trophy for the tied series of 3 matches. I never understand why they do. And she tells the Bangladesh captain, bring the umpires also, they also helped you win. Right? So, and I was like, that's so unnecessary. And then I saw the highlights of the match. There was one which was a very 50-50 decision, right? One was genuinely very questionable, but I'm like, itna bhi nahi hai ki it's reached this level, right?
But pata lag jata hai, you know, when you're playing, a lot of cricketers say, because this happens in domestic games, right? Where there's no DRS and you don't know what things are happening back in the day. He says, oh, pata lag jata hai. You have an incompetent umpire, you have an umpire who's kind of little biased against you. He says, you can tell. 1-2 over mein pata lag jata hai. कौन है, so that you don't, so even sitting outside and saying सिर्फ decision पे पता चलेगा, पर आपको वो interaction में, it's like how when you meet a person, you know an asshole in the first 2 minutes of talking to them, right? You know, this guy is an asshole. It doesn't have to say anything to you.
Yeah.
It be saying something around you and saying, ये इसको chance थप्पड़ मारूंगा, इसको chance मिलेगा तो
all they do is pass judgments. Wrong ones.
Your coffee has got stuck in the lift.
So the story is that everyone's getting stuck in this elevator. It's like the coffee police. Like that siren is pretty intense, man.
They're very like hardcore about it.
Yeah, this lift has issues.
This lift
like deep issues.
Did this lift have a stuffed tiger which was beheaded? Because something has happened.
But also, this coffee is taking very long. Like it's very interesting.
I think
Colombia से मंगाया क्या किया?
You called for iced.
So they're freezing
coffee.
the ice.
Yeah, no, they're just letting it cool down.
they
made the hot coffee like garam nahi. Like let it cool now. Just.
Some guy's gone running to Mahabaleshwar. थोड़ा hill में लगाएंगे अगर तो यहाँ पे. It's cooler here.
You know, there's the coffee comes where वो बिल्ली की टट्टी से निकलता है वो coffee.
Yeah.
Which is called something. It's called.
Yeah,
it's something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it looks like mongoose. It's like a cat, I think.
Yeah.
Should we just call this podcast half-baked information? किसी को भी कुछ भी याद आ रहा है तो कुछ था ना.
अरे तुझे याद है वो चीज जो हुई थी मेरे साथ? अरे कुछ था कुछ.
It's the most expensive coffee.
It's the most expensive coffee. Yeah, this is made out of. I know what you're. Civet.
Kopi Luwak.
See, now Soham is on the ball. You're like, now I'll Google shit.
By the way, you showing the screen there with that font, who do you think could read that? Who did he think?
But I gotta ask
you. Are you Clark Kent? Like, are you like, just a second? Oh yes, I can.
I'm just saying that there's proof. I'm not lying. I'm not
What's
smart.
Kopi
Luwak.
Yeah, so that's Kopi Luwak coffee, the one that you're talking about.
So they're just walking around trying to feed some billy like khale.
Just we need some Kopi Luwak.
Yeah, it's the most expensive uncapped cat.
Shit's gold. I like it.
But I like these moves, the Harmanpreet Kaur thing. But now that we mentioned this umpiring thing, now it makes sense because you're like, you're not in the thick of the moment to know what's been happening. It's quite possible that other stuff is also going on.
Yeah, so
it builds up over time.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about umpires now, we're talking about random stuff anyway. I think one of the things I find very funny is the interaction between the third umpire and the director during the reviews.
Yeah.
Have you seen
talking.
Yeah.
Like it's damn funny because like director, can you please show me the front angle? Okay, and director is not showing the front angle. Like front angle, right? And then the script is very similar.
Yeah.
And he says stuff like, okay, I'm convinced there's no bat on the ball or ball on the bat, whatever it is, right? And
Patch of
eventually,
the ball. You were right.
yeah, he's done all this conversation, okay, and then he doesn't give the decision like that only. He can just say it's not out, right?
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I'm ready with my decision. Go to the big screen.
Yeah.
स्पॉन्सर है ना वहाँ पे.
Yeah, that's true.
पैसे के बिना कुछ नहीं होता भाई. स्पॉन्सर नहीं तो भी तो पैसे दिए हैं वो आउट करने के लिए. अगर अंपायर ने वही बोल दिया तो स्पॉइलर हो गए, लोग बंद करके चले जाएंगे. So nobody will see that Emirates.
I'm just waiting for the day where there'll be a full-blown fight between the third umpire and the director.
बोलना ना तेरे को दिखाने के लिए साइड वाला.
तू हटना.
Just to mess with him. Show me the drone shot.
Can you pull up your Instagram, please? Show me the last 9 photographs.
Can you? And also, I love when he sees the front on spin vision.
Yeah.
It's called
Spin vision, yeah.
Yeah.
So front on spin vision. He says, I don't think there's any bat on ball, but let me see Sneeko anyway.
Correct, yeah.
Because I don't trust myself, I don't trust you, I don't trust the world. Let's go to...
Look at the ultra edge. Let's look at the ultra edge.
Yeah, ultra edge,
Yeah.
Sneeko, they'll hear it, ultra edge, hotspot when they have it.
Yeah.
Dude, I just know most of the third umpires are just waiting in the wings and they're just like, can you please rock and roll that? Just like waiting ki
Rock and
मैं
roll.
rock and roll बोल
Rock and
दूँ.
roll. Director, do you have another angle? Director saying, I got 36 cameras, babe. I can do this.
Rock and roll.
क्या चाहिए तेरे को? Suddenly gives an angle on the top of the stadium. Like the whole shot. अब देख. ये चाहिए तेरे को? एक हम लोग जब when we play गली cricket here ना, हम अपना we have a gang, we play tennis ball cricket. तो उसमें the umpire has to be the batting team वाला ना.
Yeah.
You don't call an umpire. So there was one time and we were sitting in the cage, right? We were playing inside the cage. So I was the square leg. I was going to bat next. So I was the square leg umpire. So the fielding team captain says, अरे यार तू इतना थोड़ा पीछे बैठा थोड़ा इधर आ जाना भाई यू लाइन विद द क्रीज. मैंने कहा मैंने आउट वहां से भी नहीं देना यहाँ से भी नहीं देना क्या फर्क पड़ता है अपनी टीम को थोड़ी ना आउट दूंगा.
बिठा दे कहीं भी यार.
मैंने कहा मैं इसे
This is a Bangladesh umpire during his childhood.
yeah. No, but I saw the footage of the Bangladesh series and it's very interesting to watch because the commentary they're not fully trained yet, a lot of them, right? So there's a lot of dead air and there's a lot of really like they're like so when the other team does anything they're like, oh, it's a 6, it's a good shot there, nice. Bangladesh has taken a wicket. Dude, you gotta keep some even temper. I was noticing this with Zimbabwe also. A lot of the African countries who are like building the commentary bases and stuff like that and trying to train on the job. It reminds me of like India in the late 80s, early 90s, where the bias was just like oozing out. Right, damn fun to watch.
Bias तो पर मेरे को वो commentary बहुत अच्छी लगती थी यार. I used to love it. Like I met Dr. Narottam Puri the other day.
Right.
And I was just telling him that I said your voice is, embedded in my mind. I met Abbas Ali Beg in Singapore, happens to be very good friends with my sister and brother-in-law, right? Family friends. And obviously I don't recognize him anymore because I haven't seen him in a long time. But as soon as he spoke, Abbas Ali Beg with that voice that he had on all the Sharjah games, right? As soon as I was like, oh, you're Abbas Ali Beg. I said, so it's, it's some of them back in the day really left an impression on you. Like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Which had Sidhu Harsha, Sunny Bhai,
Alan
Wilkins, Ravi.
Yeah.
There was a sixth one.
When was this?
I think it was Wasim. Early 2000s.
Yeah, early 2000s.
Okay, I was a kid
Star.
back then.
Yeah.
I was in my 6th standard.
Where Sidhu used to tell Alan Wilkins to get his bags and all also, I remember. I think Alan Wilkins said I became the designated driver to take us from place to place. And
Actually, he said that on my podcast.
I think you also
He did. He said that I was the designated driver because they were in England.
Oh, okay.
So he said I was the driver. I said, but you're
I like how I'm telling you the thing he told you like with great confidence, like I trust her.
This is the thing. We're consuming so much information. At least you're telling me the thing that someone told me.
Yeah.
I have told people the thing they have told me. तेरे को पता है कहना मैं नहीं तो बताया था तेरे को.
Yeah, show me another angle.
Rock
Can
and
you
roll.
rock and roll that?
I love rock and roll that.
I love it.
Because I still don't know what it means. What does rock and roll it mean?
So back, forth,
Oh,
back,
back,
forth,
forth.
back,
Oh,
one frame back,
that's
one frame forward, one frame back, one frame.
Oh.
Rock and roll.
Oh shit, now it makes sense. I've been wondering ये क्या होता है? Like,
Oh, I shouldn't have told you that because now I've taken a
Yeah, but
legit laugh away from your life.
It does look like the batsman is dancing like
yeah.
rock and roll Sony.
No, so what
I think so.
yeah,
For me,
yeah.
the standout, lots happened last year in terms of India cricket, but I think the standout has to be the Rinku Singh 5 6s in that match against KKR. Sorry, against GT. in
Yeah.
Ahmedabad. Because I think, for the longest time, we've seen Rinku Singh as a player. He's been around sidelines, chota mota. I never thought this guy, like this guy, could do what he did.
Pocket rocket.
And it was not just a one-off, right? Like he started from there, and every match he was just like hitting and doing so well.
Yeah.
And I think that was really the story of IPL for me and story of Indian cricket. And even like the tournaments he played later,
Yeah.
he's been bloody consistent, right? Like he's been playing so well.
He's been fantastic in domestic cricket as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he's been
exactly.
doing stuff like this in domestic cricket for years.
Yeah, but nobody's been noticing it,
And,
right? Now we know.
KKR just didn't have any place to kind of play him in the batting order.
Yeah.
And then it just came to a point where they
Yeah.
needed.
I mean, he played so well. Eshtal got hit for so many runs. He went to RCB now. Like that was his audition to be in RCB. So it
Like
worked
how
well.
You went this whole route just to troll RCB at the end.
That's
It's a
another
great
thing.
audition.
That's another thing I find fascinating because RCB has its share of crazy fans
Yeah.
and an equal number of trolls.
I
Is
mean-
it? Would that be a fair summation from what I
not
noticed?
trolls. See, I think we
Or
had
people
this
who like
chat.
to roast them. Let's say people who like to
Yeah,
roast
it
them.
just it's right there, right? How can you not roast RCB?
Yeah.
Like you try very hard not to, but they do things. Like this year auction, for example.
Yeah.
If you look at the kind of bowlers they got,
Yeah.
I mean,
First of all, they let go all their bowlers.
they let go.
Like I didn't
Absolutely.
understand that. It's like
Yeah, they let go of
after
Harshal Patel.
After
And-
all these years,
yeah,
Hasaranga, you
and
realize
yes,
after all these years that
Yeah.
that top four scoring 250 runs that you think is
Yeah.
not the business model that's working.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
You should know that. Right? It's common knowledge now that batters win you games and bowlers win you trophies.
Yeah.
Right? You have to have a great bowling attack. Yet they do that. My question is that RCB super fans who fill up stadiums and are like crazy
Yeah.
over their social media and they are genuinely a very solid fan base. Will they still stay after Virat retires?
No, so I'll tell you my experience, right? I used to live in Bangalore and I used to love watching RCB in Chinnaswamy. And I still do. Like, I love the team. It's not that I don't like the team. It's just that over the years, people have expected so much out of this team. And time and again, you feel disappointed like with what they do. It's bound to have that kind of reaction. But I think what the team has managed to do really well is the fans of RCB are right now okay with what the team is doing. Like they will probably win someday, but even if they don't win, just the brand of cricket they play, I think has got a lot of loyal fans backing the team. And my guess is even if Virat doesn't play anymore, he will be around the team. He will of course be a mentor or whatever in the dugout. And I think people will continue to come. Like if you go to Chinnaswamy Stadium during IPL, every single match is jam-packed.
Yeah.
Every single match, you won't get tickets easily at all because people love RCB. People love RCB for everything that it's done so far. Like for example, a few years back when ABD and Gale were there in the team, I remember watching matches in Chinnaswamy. It was a feast. Like no matter RCB wins the matches or loses them, but when they were in the middle of the ground hitting those sixes and shots and scoring those runs, it's moments. And people take those moments back and not really the overall trophy or all this. What's a trophy? You anyways have to put it on your feet anyway someday.
But now that you're mentioning it, like effectively India has not won a ICC trophy since 2011, right?
Yeah.
13
13.
champions?
13, yeah, 13. But okay, let's say we've not won a World Cup since 2011. So it's like been, and the T20 World Cup comes every 6 months now.
Yeah. Basically.
Basically every 6 months.
There's a World Cup every year. I call it ICC ka IPL. Right?
Yeah.
Like every year in October, they have something that they were like, यार ये अप्रैल में सब इंडिया सारे पैसे खा जाती है, हमें भी चाहिए sponsors का पैसा. And they're doing it. I think it's great because you expect it to happen now every year. So there is a World Cup or a Champions or a बड़े seriously आया मामला. अच्छा, come.
That's okay. You can appear in the video. It's fine.
Yeah, you're fine. People know that we are not sitting here alone. That we have help.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. One second.
Thank you.
Is that for me? Water. Yeah. Thanks.
Oh, this burning hot, by the way.
Yeah. It's not warm.
Wait. In the
end में आ ही गया.
stop block. Coffees appear. Wow, amazing magic.
Yeah.
But it's like it's roughly the what are we talking about? We're talking about the
ICC
T20
का IPL.
Yeah, ICC का IPL is very funny. What a great. Yeah, somebody was telling me that the reason why the World Cup is चलेगा यार.
कोई बात
क्यों
नहीं.
ब्रांडिंग चाहिए?
क्या पता पैसे आ जाए
कोई तो दे दे कहीं से you know
retrospective.
लगा पहले जो किया था, thanks.
ऐसा लगे लोग इसको देख के कहेंगे लग भी रहा है ये डोप पे ऐसा बातें जैसी चल रही है.
I don't want to put it e-pod. So somebody said that the reason why I don't know, now this is going to be one of those things where it might have been
Someone said something at some time. Let's discuss that.
They said that the reason why every team played each other once in the World Cup and the reason why the number of teams has gone down is because the India matches are the ones that are making the money across the board. So that's why they needed India to play whatever 10, 11 times in this World Cup, because otherwise there's no point of the World Cup. And then you realize the numbers, Australia versus Pakistan, the test series, which I was actually quite excited about a little bit. Nobody's in the stadium. And you're like, oh, this is like, if Bangladesh was playing Australia, there'd probably be more people. And which is quite surprising, where you're like, okay, earlier you would think ki India, Pakistan, Australia, but like now it's literally India, and I would actually say the second most enthusiastic cricket watchers are Bangladesh.
Fair. So by the way, I said that.
No,
You said that, right?
Here's my
No, I didn't,
suggestion. Here's my suggestion.
Yeah.
If Indian matches are making you so much money,
Right.
every time India is in ICC finals, make it a 3-match finals.
Yeah.
Only if India plays. Otherwise, one match.
I've got a better idea.
Yeah.
Just let India play 2 teams.
Yeah, I agree.
India can't play 2 teams right now. So the final will be India versus India.
Yeah.
India versus Bharat. And that will decide many things.
And then again it will become an issue.
FIR number 3.
तो इंडिया वर्सेस इंडिया खिला दो भाई मेरे को फेल सेफ ऑप्शन चाहिए भाई देख एमसीजी
No, which is what IPL is anyway, right? IPL is where it's India versus
ललित
India.
मोदी ने कहा था नहीं remember right in the
Everybody
beginning,
wins.
he said India wins every day
Yeah.
so it's
Except when RCB plays, then the
We are
fans
still
cry.
pulling
It's
but
just
the team
sad.
that's winning RCB is not playing Australia RCB is playing Gujarat or KKR so there's a few things I believe.
Yeah.
One is MCG is too big a stadium and Pakistan's not playing that level of test cricket which gives a takkar to Australia.
Right.
So people today have so many entertainment options that you have to give them top flight.
Yeah.
Top flight नहीं दोगे तो नहीं आएंगे. India maybe what works is you are taking a team like England or a team like Australia. You had so many centers that they are going. You see some of their travel plans. You're like भाई ये तो यहीं पे platinum card travel card air miles पे लेके चला जाएंगे सारे इसी एक tour में. Right, they're going Trivandrum, Vizag, Guwahati, Raipur, Dharamshala. मैंने कहा भाई if I told a travel agent a trip बनाएगा तो मैं नहीं खेलता मैं घर जा रहा हूँ. ठीक है, but they are doing all of this. Now what happens is, let's say in a Raipur, you know an India game is happening once in 3 years, 4 years. भाई भरेगा.
Yeah.
Right, MCG में एक तो हर साल 2-3 मैच हो जाते हैं ना. ODI भी हो जाएगा, टेस्ट मैच भी हो जाएगा, क्या पता 2 टेस्ट मैच, तो सेंटर्स कम है. सेकेंडली स्टेडियम बहुत बड़ा है. It's a very big stadium. MCG, if you're talking about the Boxing Day test. Right? That's the second factor. And the third is it has to be competitive. So for me, I feel that test cricket will only survive if it's played by top flight, not because of money or viewership. It's because you can't sustain interest if it's a lopsided encounter. It's too long, 5 days. I'm not interested, right? But when India and South Africa are playing right now, you know, takkar is happening, you're watching every session. Right? You know what's happening. India, Australia, so you watched every ball. England plays Australia, I have watched every session of the Ashes.
Sure.
Right?
100%,
So which means what? That only 4 or 5 countries can realistically sustain test cricket. And the reason for that is not that they don't have the talent. It's like you don't have the money to support that form. Na? है ही नहीं, तो फिर how do you expect? अब उनके PSL में थोड़े पैसे आ रहे हैं. Players will focus on PSL. Players will focus on T20 skills. How are you expecting them to hone their test skills? How are you expecting?
I mean, if you're playing the World Cup final against Australia and not score a boundary for 40 overs, then you can get better at test cricket. It's showing now.
Not score, yeah, you're right.
It's showing now.
It was a good 39 overs or something. No, 39 overs that there was no boundary.
Almost 40
11
overs.
to 40 or something, there was no
Crazy,
boundary.
But by the way,
as
No,
they
I
say,
have
sorry.
one. See, one more point is I think in India people watch. You make them watch anything, they will watch. I don't know if you saw the news yesterday. There was a tiger on the wall. There were more people watching tiger on the wall than people in the MCG. So you give them something, they will watch. So I think India will always have crowds watching Indian team play.
I think that's why he's saying Bangladesh, because then there'll be a tiger in the crowd, right?
Exactly.
People will absolutely. Yeah, there's a tiger in the stuffed tiger in the crowd. Indians are coming to watch Bangladesh. क्या tiger है? पर हम लोग तो यार, I grew up in Delhi. वहाँ पे एक मोटरसाइकिल एक ऑटो रिक्शा के अंदर घुस जाए,
Yeah.
20,000 लोग आ जाते हैं देखने के लिए. That was like a 5-minute match. But there'd be like 20,000. क्या स्कोर क्या है? So उसने एक बारी मारा, उसने अपना हेलमेट मारा, उसका कांच तोड़ दिया है. We just love being spectators.
Yeah.
हमें करना नहीं है कुछ, हमें बस देखना है. ठीक है. इसलिए I find social media so weird because now everyone's become a content creator. और कोई देख नहीं रहा. हम तो देखने वाला देश है यार.
Yeah.
हम इतना कर क्यों रहे हैं?
Yeah,
Why are we doing so much? It's really disturbing me.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when something is happening, some incident is happening, right? Like a dog is stuck on a roof or whatever. People be like, look at this dog stuck in a roof. I'm like, can you get the dog out of the roof? Like instead of using this, where they'll be like, look at this guy struggling on the train. I'm like, just pick him up, no?
This is almost like Hardik Pandya looking at the team play from the dressing room. It's like
Hey,
he
listen,
could help, but
do you think that would be, by the way, the ultimate irony where after all this drama, Hardik is still injured for the IPL? Because that's what's coming out, right?
I did read that the other day.
Yeah.
And that would be nuts. Do you think that Rohit would accept captaincy then?
Oh.
That's my question.
But he would know because
I don't know. I've not spoken to him about it. I've not. I just had this thought as you said that.
Right.
Like, do you think he would?
Because effectively the IPL is the dress rehearsal for the World Cup, and then the person who captains, like, you can't just have Hardik not be there for the IPL and then suddenly be captain of the T20 World Cup side, right? I assume that would look odd.
I think they think about it differently, right? Like the Indian team selection happens. I know IPL plays a role in
This year it has
who
to.
gets picked.
Yeah.
This year it has to because
Yeah,
you're
maybe.
you're not playing too many T20s.
No, I'm just thinking. For example, let's say Surya Kumar Yadav, Sky, for example, he's been fantastic in T20Is that India has played. Let's say, God forbid, he has a bad IPL.
Good point.
I don't think he'll be dropped.
No, he can't. So
because
I
it
think
goes
that
differently.
it has to be a strong consideration, but not the deciding factor.
Correct. Absolutely.
Because the IPL is happening right before.
Yeah.
You could, if there are two players, so there are players who are sure shot. Like Surya Kumar Yadav is a legend of this format.
Yeah.
You have to play him even if he gets 14 ducks.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
You're still playing him
Yeah.
in the T20 World Cup because you know what he can do.
Yeah.
I think the deciding factor becomes between two players if you're doing an either or.
Yeah.
Right? I'm doing an either or between two players. मुझे यार और हर सिलेक्शन मीटिंग में होता है ना कि इसको ले कि उसको ले. That last two slots that you have to fill, there's always 4 or 5 people competing for that.
Yeah.
Then,
And
the IPL could be
And Nishan Kishan gets dropped.
a deciding factor. Could be, right? If he doesn't have a good IPL, because you know that, okay, I have Ishan Kishan and I have Jitesh Sharma.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, you have the two of them. Jitesh Sharma scores, 8 50s.
Yeah.
And Ishan gets, 8 single-digit scores. You are thinking then,
Yeah.
all right, because Ishan's not a surety in the. Who is a surety? You know that Surya is a surety. You know Bumrah is a surety.
Yeah.
You don't know whether
Singh, Rinku Singh, like, I mean,
Rinku Singh is
will be
definitely a surety.
Yeah.
And
I think he's the finisher we needed.
yeah. And again, I mean, I hate to throw the name of one of your close friends whose name gets thrown around a lot. Is he the Yuvraj? Like everybody up is like, ये Yuvraj है. Like छोड़ दे भाई उसने कर लिया अपना. Don't put so much pressure on a young player.
Rinku.
Yeah.
Rinku ball नहीं डालता ना वो.
हाँ नहीं पर डालता है ना अभी बीच में इस
एक ओवर एक विकेट लिया था उसने.
By the way, we are talking about RCB, right? I was watching England versus West Indies, and Alzari Joseph on I think the week that they bid 10 crores for him, in a match gave 4 overs 52 runs, okay? And then he was dropped for the remaining series. RCB is like, ये ले 11 crore. Like, भाई तुम क्या कर रहे हो? And the same series, Phil Salt has scored 352 runs in 5 matches and no bids.
Surprised.
Yeah.
But
So we're like, this is...
we spoke about this also. There's just no space.
Yeah, there's no space, yeah.
Like all 10 teams, there's no space.
Yeah.
Like last year, do you realize that the bench of teams, Gujarat had 3 international captains on their bench.
Shit, yeah.
Dasun Shanaka,
true.
Yeah.
Matthew Wade captains his country. Rashid Khan used to captain his
And
country.
Kane
T20 he
Williamson
plays.
went back home
Kane
also.
Williamson.
Yeah.
They have captains on their bench, right? So that's what is happening. Is that which is why we were talking about Sunrisers, right? That we brought them back again after getting trolled by Sunrisers fans. But the reason why we were doing that was because you go, यार तुम्हारे पास तो है ना 4 international. कई तो short होने चाहिए. अब I hope that Glenn Phillips gets traded. He's a gun T20
It's
player.
crazy that he's getting it's crazy that like sometimes you see somebody like Glenn Phillips not being used on IPL. I'm like, do you not understand who this guy is? Like it's crazy.
He's a truest all-rounder.
Yeah, everything.
विकेट कीपर, आउटफील्डर, बैटर, बॉलर. और बॉलर में वो स्पिन भी डालता है और मीडियम पेस भी डालता है. कहते हैं और क्या अंपायर बन जाऊं? क्या करना है मुझे और?
Cut to him in Bangladesh.
WPL umpire. Harmanpreet is batting.
When the third umpire says rock and roll, Glenn Phillips is running and going.
मैं कर लेगा.
मैं कर लेता हूँ. But talking about your favorite moment in 2023, like what is and it can be like more than one also if like there's anything that stands out. Because I'm trying to think of like I think there's probably 2 or 3 that stand out for me. But what would be yours? Immediately you just think कि ये मस्त था यार जो हुआ.
कभी-कभी ना मुझे प्रॉब्लम होती है कि क्रिकेट इस साल हुआ था कि पिछले साल हुआ था. ये वाला मैच कब हुआ था?
So what highlights are playing in your head right now? Like what is playing right now?
World Cup is playing, Asia Cup final is playing.
हाँ.
Asia Cup final was I have to tell you because it's a personal story, so it's very funny. Asia Cup final started, we were on air on CricBuzz, and one day cricket I'm finding a little tough to do, right? So the joke was that there were 2 people who came out of retirement for this World Cup, Ben Stokes and me, right? Because I had retired from the one-day format. I said I can't do it. I find it very difficult to watch. I can watch a test game.
Right.
I watch a whole T20 game. The 50 overs, na, because my problem is that between over 10 and 40, na, it's like you're sitting in a government office and a file is moving around. Right? Because the batters are ready to take 6-7. The bowlers also ready to give 6-7. इसे बीच में कुछ कर लेते हैं मांडोली 6.5 ले लो अच्छा इसमें 7 दे दो अगले में 6 ले लूँगा. You know, it's just the file is moving. So I find that a little cumbersome to watch. In the final of the Asia Cup, it started raining and it was a Sunday.
Yeah.
So I said अभी बारिश बंद होगी, फिर मैच शुरू होगा, फिर 50 ओवर होंगे. तो मैं ना लोअर परेल टू बैंड्रा फॉर पीपल हु डोंट नो मुंबई, इट्स नॉट अ संडे, इट्स नॉट टू मच, इट्स 20-25 मिनट्स. घर जाता हूँ, लंच खाऊंगा, मैच देखूंगा, 34th ओवर में निकल के वापस आ जाऊंगा स्टूडियो. ठीक है. मैं निकला, 1 विकेट, 2 विकेट, 3 विकेट, 4 विकेट. घर पहुंचा, somebody was supposed to come get some papers signed. I reached home. I have literally sat down with my plate, 6 wickets down. Producer calling, भाई 6 विकेट डाउन हो गए, सिराज इज ऑन अ रैम्पेज, प्लीज वापस आ जा. मैंने कहा अच्छा 7 में निकलता हूँ. दूसरा बाइट का है 7. मैंने कहा चल गाड़ी निकाल वापस. I have spent 1.5 hours in the car for 10 minutes and the work didn't happen. That guy couldn't reach. कहते सर मैं पहुंच रहा हूँ 10 मिनट में. मैंने कहा सिराज तेरे पहले पहुंच गया, तू जा घर, कल आना. So for me that was Siraj's. I was like a Sri Lankan fan that day.
Yeah.
His rampage hurt me. I spent 1.5 hours in the car and I couldn't have lunch.
Yeah.
That was the shortest format of the game.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
So भाई 15 ओवर में या 16 ओवर में खत्म कर दिया था ना.
Yeah.
50 रन बनाए उन्होंने.
Yeah.
50, 55 or something.
53 or whatever it was.
कुछ इस टाइप का था 50 रन.
You know the weird thing is I was talking to my son who like I discuss cricket with all day and all night. Like this is all we're talking about. And I asked him what are his favorite moments in the year, and he said India versus Pakistan matches, World Cup, and England versus Australia. So he's I think the only 8-year-old watching test matches and telling me averages and shit like that. He loves it.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Your son and me have something in common, which is Australia-England trauma. 1987 World Cup final. If you weren't
No,
born.
I wasn't born.
Yeah.
I was a thought in my parents' head.
Yeah, but let me inform you about it then, because this information I have, right?
Okay.
Unlike the others where we were speculating. So, India and Pakistan, we talk about India supposing to win the World Cup. India was supposed to win the World Cup in 2023. India and Pakistan was supposed to play the final in Eden Gardens in 1987.
Yeah.
Now, there is a fascinating story where how Mr. Jagmohan Dalmiya had done all this back channeling and got the World Cup out of England. Remember 3 World Cups that happened in England? वो अभी तक Wimbledon की तरह चल रहा होता if it was not for this one man. Right? If it was not for Mr. Dalmiya, that World Cup would not have come.
It would have been like WTC.
Something like that happening there, right? So India and Pakistan were co-hosting the World Cup. Bombay at the time got one semi-final, and I think did Lahore or Karachi, one of them got either Gaddafi or Karachi got the, I think it was Gaddafi, got the other semi-final. Pakistan was playing Australia, India was playing England. There was a charter plane waiting in Pakistan the day before, कि Pakistan wins. They will sit on the charter flight, come to Bombay. The next day, they will watch India beat England. Then both teams will sit together in that plane and it will go to Calcutta. Wow. It was planned like that.
Wow.
On day 1, Australia beat Pakistan.
Yeah.
On day 2, England beat India at Wankhede.
Yeah.
So it's an Australia-England final happening to 110,000
Wow.
people in
My
Eden. That's the kind of mad fandom, right, in Calcutta. I was very upset, obviously, because I expected, lad, man. I expected India and Pakistan to play the final. Didn't happen. So my dad, just to cheer me up, said, okay, who do you think is going to win? And we'll have a bet. Come. So I said, yeah, cool. I'm like 6 or something. He said, yeah. So I said, England will win. So my dad said, okay, if England wins, I'll buy you an English willow bat. Okay. Now understand, that time, there was 2 kinds of bats for kids who played cricket. Kashmir willow and English willow. English willow matlab, it's like you're showing up to school in a Bentley.
Yeah.
At that time, right? English willow means you're the, मतलब और किसी की बैटिंग आएगी नहीं. आप ही बैटिंग करोगे 10 बारी और फिर आप घर जाओगे. मतलब English willow means my head is exploding. And I'm watching this match. I think my dad also knew Australia's going to win. I think he gamed me a little bit. I think थोड़ा game मार दिया dad ने.
Dad.
Yeah.
He knew.
He knows more than everybody and Jagmohan Dalmiya.
He knew, like Australia was the favourite team, I guess. And I'm watching, and Mike Gatting is played really well. And Mike Gatting decides at one point in time to reverse swing. Top edges, Greg Dyer takes the catch. I remember it so vividly in my head. Alan Border was bowling.
Yeah.
And Mike Gatting does this. Greg Dyer takes the catch. Once Mike Gatting is gone, means they have lost, and they lost by 10 runs in the end. I got so depressed, I have not seen the end of the game. I have gone walking in my colony. As a kid, we have lived in a gated complex. It's not like my parents let me walk on the road. Walking, and no, there's nobody there. It's like Mahabharata and Ramayana of the old times. No, everyone's watching TV. I was just walking depressed, like a little toddler walking depressed. So that England-Australia trauma, I'll never forget. I brought it out when I was shooting with Mike Gatting once for ESPN. I'm like, looking at him. He says, what? I lost an English willow bat because of you. So I'm looking at him, giving him eyes, like I'm so sad and heartbroken. He says, mate, we lost the World Cup. I'm like, what are you telling me?
Slightly worse.
Yeah. I said, no, my pain is greater than yours.
But imagine your life. What a great life you've led, where you've been able to meet the person who wronged you in the sporting environment, right?
Dude, when you said na, your son and you talk cricket all day, it totally reminded me of my dad and me talking cricket all day.
Yeah.
I remember sitting with him. England is visiting India, and we would have a diary, and he would say, okay, what's your team? What's the 11?
Oh, wow.
And I was like 7-8 years old, and I'm making an 11. India should play with these players. England should play with these players. These are the kind of discussions that we used to have.
It's a pity there was no Dream 11 back then.
Yeah, we would have been.
We had a lot of money.
Super Selector, I was very good at when it started. Now it gets a little too complicated. I don't get it. But that's what. So it literally started like that. My interest in cricket started because of that, and that's all I did. I would play cricket. I would watch cricket. I would play cricket. I would watch cricket. I would discuss cricket, and it literally turned into a career by mistake because of that. And meeting all these guys, like sitting one evening in Georgetown, Guyana, with nobody around, but we're sitting on a table with Viv Richards and Sunil Gavaskar, and they are talking about the bowlers and batters of that era. And you're just sitting and literally like, I said, wow, I wish I had got like some of my team along with me so that they could just pinch me every 5 minutes. Just for that reason.
Imagine needing the team to pinch you.
It's like Gaurav.
No, I was just thinking, before the podcast
podcast
started, I was thinking, GK does Breakfast with Champions.
Yeah.
Like, what is he doing with us now? Lunch with Luchas.
Lunch with Luchas.
Late coffee. Late coffee with Lucha. By the way, I have to tell you, I mean, before we had, because you both have been very generous with your time and all that. Like during the last year.
भेज रही है.
Yeah.
क्या हो गया तुम्हारा? निकला है.
Stories.
अभी मेरे को 2 और podcast shoot करने का.
But where are they? They haven't reached yet.
Sahil is outside only. I think he's waiting outside.
कौन सा Sahil?
Sahil Khattar.
Oh.
Syed Karmani.
Of course.
Yeah, you know.
My first cricket autograph.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Literally.
Your
My first cricket
Syed
autograph.
Kirmani or Sahil Qatar?
Sahil Katta.
I was like, he's like,
It's like that meme for the World Cup final, na, when Ranveer was there. It was like, "Arey, galat Kapil Dev ko bula diya." Right? Do you remember there was that whole thing where Kapil Baji said that I was not invited, and then a meme came out.
I think we should talk about the amount of effort people put in to watch the finals in Ahmedabad.
yeah.
And the disappointment they had to, like you were talking about how you had the disappointment, right? the Kashmir below, English below. And
Yeah.
imagine people paid like
5 lakhs.
lakhs of rupees of money, went from different parts of the country, went to Ahmedabad,
Yeah.
paid like tens of thousands of rupees to stay in a house, Airbnb,
Yeah.
and then watching that match for like 8 hours.
Yeah.
And apparently
India
the
losing.
hospitality was pretty bad. From
Oh,
what I read, the food and all was not good.
But
It's shocking.
I've noticed this across the board, and this is something that like really they need to figure out how to do. Where during the IPL, the matches as a watcher are pretty decently done. There's enough food. It's not bad. Right now, even North Stand ran out of water. No, in one of the matches, North Stand ran out of water. Ahmedabad, there were issues with regards to, and I'm like, why can't you just improve? Like, dude, there are enough restaurants now. It's not like the late 90s where तुम्हारे पास बस chips और समोसे और ice cream है देने को लोगों को. You can give other stuff. Why do you have to keep? Like, I don't understand why this is a consistent problem. So, like the fact that the fans are making the game, and if you're expecting 135,000 people to show up for a match, at least like give them
That's
stuff.
too
Yeah.
big a stadium, man.
Yeah.
You know something? That's
Yeah.
too many people to do logistics for. That's what I feel. I feel it's just too much here.
Yeah.
1.25 lakh लोग यार बहुत होते हैं.
No, I was just
कहाँ
thinking,
रहेंगे,
like
कहाँ जाएंगे?
I saw a lot of people complain, saying
Yeah.
that no, I took so much effort, went and we lost. I was like, bro, the team lost the World Cup. They also took a lot of effort over the course of 1 month. They
And
lost
why
it.
don't you, have you just come to watch India win the World Cup? Like, come to watch cricket now. There was deadly silence during
Dude, that
Australia
was-
scoring
You
runs.
know, the funniest thing
awkward.
was a lot of societies. Okay, our society also had screening of the finals, and a lot of them had stocked up on fireworks. Ki India will win and fireworks will go. India being India, okay. Australia won the World Cup. They're like, अरे waste हो जाएंगे.
और अच्छा और सबने
bursting
fireworks
fireworks.
and no FIR. No
Australia.
FIR.
It's
No
Australia.
police complaint.
Australia.
Australia.
Yeah,
Then it's
Yeah,
okay.
it's
Australia is
Australia.
okay.
Australia is
Yeah.
allowed.
No, okay. You are celebrating
The funny
Australia.
thing is they're bursting fireworks and nobody's bothered. Like, हाँ चलो, let them do it.
You know what happened in my area was same thing. People had fireworks and they were like, "Arya, it will be inappropriate to do it after this." So they waited 2 days and then they figured out some event. They're like, "Arey, इसको 90% मिला, चलो फोड़ते हैं." मेरा Zomato delivery हो गया, फोड़ते हैं. They're just doing anything. So for 3 days, this bursting crackers for random reasons. It's like no reason. Anyway, this
You were
is-
saying
yeah.
you've been very generous with your time. उसके आगे भी बोलो.
हाँ नहीं so I've been like I mean I'm sure you've also been like trying to figure out all the analysis of the World Cup, right? Pavilion, great cricketer, and you on Crickbuzz is just the peak of everything. I've watched all of it. Like you with Nehra and you know what I love, the fact is that you have completely different vibes with Nehra and Sehwag, and then with Harsha Bhogle and Joy Bhattacharya,
Yeah,
where it's a very similar vibe but it's a very different vibe.
Yeah,
and
I'm two different people.
Yeah,
In
it's
English and
really-
Hindi, I become two different people.
English willow and Kashmir willow.
That's true. I think in English, because I know it's about knowing your audience, right?
Yeah.
With English, you know your audience is more expats and more people also. So it's the humor is slightly different. In Hindi, you know your viewers, so you're like, thoda, you can be a little chichora, thoda londebazi, thoda, and the guy sitting with you also, with Viru and Parthiv especially.
Yeah.
And we love to, like, because Parthiv is younger, so we keep. You must have noticed we
Yeah.
keep ragging him all the time. Bichara. He's the sweetest though. We rag him all the time. Have you noticed how serious Ashu is though?
Yeah, he's very
When
serious.
he's
yeah.
doing cricket analysis, he's damn serious. मैंने कहा भाई तू कुछ नहीं कर रहा अभी. थोड़ा मजे करते हैं.
Length ball.
हाँ.
Length ball. Which, by the way, was great advice. No, when you think about it, like he was saying, and everybody shitting on him for long, and he's like, it turned out good
Look
advice.
at what Shami has done
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Gujarat.
Yeah.
Right in that IPL.
Yeah.
It's
Crazy.
length ball. Sometimes the basicest, simplest thing is the thing you need to do is not be too cute and do 6 variations in 1 over.
Yeah.
It's like length ball.
Length
top
डाल.
of off, top of off.
Top of off. Yeah.
करा भाई एक फाइनल जिताया दूसरा फाइनल रनर्स अप
हाँ.
मतलब कर दिया उसने यार टीम के साथ.
Yeah. And now the team is, it's very interesting. Like, you know, this whole Hardik Pandya thing has made the IPL even more interesting, I would say. Because so much like all this vibes of like, where fans are angry on all sides where they're like, "Arey, betrayal."
You know what
the,
has
the-
happened with-
the funniest thing about everything in the recent past is how cricketers are using emojis to communicate. Like anything happens, there's like heartbreak emoji, and you just put a story.
Nobody's put an aubergine as yet, no?
Not yet. Maybe Ravi Shastri later someday.
Stop it.
It'll be great if they put an aubergine and tag a cricketer.
He is just but I got to tell you, Ravi is the most entertaining. By the way, you're talking about people going Legends League. Ravi was in Australia doing commentary one day. The next day he was in Joburg.
I know, yeah.
He's in South Africa.
Yeah.
I was like, that was quick,
Yeah.
Rav. It's like, how many flights did you need to change to do
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
I don't think Melbourne flies directly to. I don't think Emirates flies directly to Dubai. Or maybe they do. If he's, can you imagine if he's flown Melbourne, Dubai,
Yeah.
Dubai, Joburg?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Insane.
And energetic on the field. He's 60 plus, bro. And he's like, I'm ready. I love it, man. Ravi comes on commentary.
I still love how every toss,
Yeah.
any city he's in,
Yeah.
like he uses like the local language to wake the city up.
Yeah.
Kemcho,
Dude,
Gujarat.
He is magic.
Yeah.
He is magic. You can hear him say the same thing.
Yeah.
He might use the same phrases again and again. But when Ravi comes on comms, I'm like, कुछ हो रहा है यार. Right? It's like,
The
मजा आ रहा
energy
है.
is
मजा आ रहा है.
yeah,
And
incredible.
that's what you need to do, boss. नहीं तो 40 कैमरा है भाई, सब कुछ दिख रहा है. अब हम सब एनालाइज कर लेते हैं.
But also it's because like he doesn't like take shit from people.
No.
And also he makes it fun and the banter is
Also,
there.
he
and
takes the jokes. Like he's
Yeah, he
very
takes the
chill.
jokes. Yeah, he takes the
like
jokes,
I
yeah.
think the whole cred ad he did, where he
Yeah.
played his own character.
Yeah.
I think he's very chill.
I love Ravi because he's got zero fucks to give.
yeah.
Right? He doesn't. He's like, ये मैं हूँ. And he told a story on Breakfast with Champions, which he's been like this since he was like 19. He says, I was in a hostel, I was having a beer, and the warden came and said, you're drinking lager beer? You're drinking lager? Give me the bottle. He says, wait. He takes the bottle back, finishes it. He says, you need evidence of the bottle, take it now. So he took it to the principal. He tells the principal, I drink beer with my father.
Right.
So I have no problem. You want to reprimand me? I'm whatever. I'm an adult. I can drink beer. Do reprimand me. Fine. no, unabashed, and you're like, actually, you're right. You're right.
And the dean is like,
I think
extra hai to bata. Let's do it together. Yeah.
We did miss him when he was the coach of the Indian team, where he was not.
I
in
missed him on
broadcast.
commentary,
Yeah.
yaar. I really missed him on comms.
But also, I think that because he was the coach, and I think everybody in the know was like, he was a pretty good coach, like, because he was constantly keeping everybody motivated and all that kind of stuff. And then after that, when he came back into commentary, he suddenly had a different thapa on him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so now you're like, अरे नहीं पर इसने किया है. He's done both sides because I think a lot of the younger generation also forgot that अरे ये cricket भी करता था कुछ. Like coming back to like interviewing people who are not Indians and or Pakistani cricketers or whatever. I interviewed Brian Lara. I was very excited. I'm like, my God, it took 3 days to figure out. I'm like, Brian Lara के साथ मैं interview किया. I uploaded it and the first comment was like, who is this guy? I'm like, तू cricket fan कैसे?
Oh, yaar. Yeah, actually, do you know something? This is a lot happening. There are people who believe suddenly, there was a time where how can people forget Sachin?
Yeah.
It's like now there was a time a year, 2 years back where people were like, Rishabh Pant is much better than Dhoni.
Yeah.
Right? There are Rishabh Pant fans who are like, oh, who's MS Dhoni? It's
Recency
just-
bias.
Yeah, recency bias. You're right, and
happens.
you're right. It's happening. It's like, who is Brian Lara? Who is
Yeah.
Sunil Gavaskar? And for us as
I-
diehard cricket fans, you're
for
like, this
example,
is blasphemous.
Yeah, people can talk about how Kapil Dev was a legend during the World Cup in 1983, the Zimbabwe innings, etc. Right? But people who haven't really lived that moment or lived that phase may not understand the gravity of how great a legend he was.
Dude, I love that.
Yeah.
You know something? 83, the film, has done that for fans who are like my
Yeah.
nephew, who's 11, has watched 83 4 times, and he's like just loves it.
Yeah.
And we have somebody from 83 here,
Yeah. Hi.
Syed Kirmani.
Yeah, see, this is why Gaurav is a professional broadcaster.
Yes.
He's
He
figured
knows.
out ways to. Sahil Khattar is.
Segue कर दिया next में.
Anyway, you have been very generous.
कुछ रह गया?
नहीं, बहुत
Time to leave.
Yeah, we try to focus on we try to
I think we're just getting warmed up.
Do you know? Yeah, we're just starting now. Do you know Rashid got a hat trick before Rinku hit those 5 6s?
In that match?
Yes.
Yeah. No,
Rashid
I
Khan
know.
got
but
a hat trick. That's when I stopped watching and we started our show for the
Oh,
next
yeah,
game.
correct. Yeah, they were.
And the
they were about
director's
to
going
lose.
nuts in my
They were
ear.
about to lose. Yeah.
Saying
Oh,
1
of
6,
course,
2
yeah,
6,
yeah.
3 6,
Yeah.
4 6,
I know.
5 6. क्या is one?
I know,
Like,
I
I had
know.
to change the show.
Yeah.
We had started the show. Harsha, Joy, and me had started the show saying, "ये match तो खत्म हो गया.
Yeah.
GT's won again." Sorry. The one thing I just wanted to add one
Yeah.
thing and maybe helpful. I feel that with GT, with this thing happening and with Shubman becoming captain,
Right.
the one thing that will do magic for them in this season is, even after winning once and becoming runners-up the second time, third season they become underdogs again.
Yeah.
And India loves underdogs.
Yeah.
So their support. Do you remember how everyone was supporting GT in the first year?
Yeah.
It was just magic.
Yeah.
This guy has come, Mumbai left him,
Yeah.
GT made him captain. It became this magical story.
Yeah.
In the second year again.
Yeah.
But people were expecting them, they were still supporting them, but it's like, oh no, but Chennai, Dhoni has to win. Dhoni won. Everyone is happy because it's Dhoni, it's CSK, right? But now again, they've got a young guy as captain. Their captain has left and gone to MI, the big team.
Yeah.
They become underdogs again.
But it's actually like, because all the vibes have changed, right? KKR has Gautam Gambhir back.
Yeah.
Right, which changes vibes because
It's great.
Yeah, and,
great move.
And you want to see Naveenul Haq do something to a KKR player and then see what happens, right?
But by the way, Naveenul Haq has been banned by
I think they've been sanctioned. They'll
Afghanistan
solve it before
cricket board.
this happens. Yeah, they'll
That's
happen
what
for
they're
sure.
saying.
Yeah.
More half-baked information to end the show. We think something has happened with him. I don't know.
Something-
Somebody's
Tooth
banned.
extraction and he can't play.
Afghanistan is a country that I'm sure of, and they have a cricket board. These two facts I know. Anyway, you've been very generous. अच्छा ठीक है.
Oh, it is not getting recorded.
अच्छा बंद हो गया क्या? हाँ एक last
Let's repeat.
outro
So
कर रहे हैं.
Naveenul Haq.
Oh shit, 2:30 हो गया यार.
Yeah. हाँ done.
I think that was a good moment. Naveen and Virat Kohli making up.
Dude, there was so many. There was that. There was there was the
India-Afghanistan match.
the run out in the Ashes. There was the timeout. There was so many fun, controversial moments, man.
Yeah,
It was great.
yeah.
Like, it was a fantastic year for cricket controversies for no reason. Like, so much nonsense happened. It was great.
I think the good thing was 3 leagues, the WPL. I think that was great.
Yeah.
I think the SA T20 was also great, and I think cricket in America.
Yeah.
Then coming into the Olympics. So I think just off-field, all these things happening.
Yeah.
I think that those were quite amazing, especially the WPL. Man, I saw the support for it as well.
Yeah.
Because we produced all the content for the Mumbai team. And we just saw the support for players, for everything.
Yeah.
So you realize that this format is...
Yeah.
This is the format whenever you have to grow the game.
Yeah.
This is the format.
Yeah.
It's not ODI. If it's not Test cricket.
Test
Test cricket is the ultimate format and it has to be played with more takkar ke teams. ODI cricket, I'm a little confused about the future of. And I think T20 cricket, because it's the most level kind of format, right? Just like Sorabh said, Afghanistan could win the T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be amazing because it just brings teams more kind of equal. And that's what you want to watch. Ultimately, nobody likes watching a one-sided encounter.
I mean, unless
Yeah.
India's
Unless you're
winning.
Unless
in
India's,
in a World Cup final.
Yeah, I wanted that match to be one-sided.
Yeah.
And
In
India
India's
to
favor.
win. Yeah, I was like, just win it now. I don't want more excitement drama.
India's got 700, Australia 0 all out. I'm like, take it.
Yeah, just
No problem.
take
again-
that cup and go home now.
Do you want it to be as one-sided as the Asia Cup final with India beating
I
Sri
don't
Lanka?
mind now. I don't mind in
100% now,
retrospect. I'm like, it doesn't matter.
I need trauma therapy.
Yeah,
I need a 50 all-out.
yeah.
Collective entire people who viewed, they're like, we'll do betterhelp.com for a nation. Anyway, you've been very generous.
I just have one last question for you. Do you think we've been generous with our time?
You've been very stingy with your time. No, listen, I'm very happy that, by the way, you're back with podcasts, and this, I think, will be the second episode out. So go back to all the other pods that we've done and follow Shridhar and Gaurav everywhere. And yeah.
Just don't follow me.
Follow?
That's bad advice. Don't follow me everywhere.
Not in real life.
4 बंदे मेरे पीछे चल रहे हैं.
एक बंदा आ रहा
सर सौरभ पंदे का था.
है आपकी आइस्ड अमेरिकानो आ गया.
सर मैं आपको पिंच करने आया हूँ सर. This is not a dream.
Chalo, thanks guys. This is fun.
Thank you.
We did it.
चलो.